So we'll start with some of the issues I had from day one. Number one, we'll start right back here. Seals on the door. It's one of them that's talked about a lot in the Oru forums. These things don't stay in place. The seal to the tailgate, to the door, not a great design. There's simple fixes out there for this, though. A lot of owners have just went with other style of seals, a bulb seal. Get rid of this seal and put a bulb seal on the door. Life is good. This isn't a concern that, I'm overly... But people should know. This is something that Oru's still not doing anything about. This is how they do it to this day, and they know that this is how it ends up over time. So this is about a year. And Oru's aware. And then it makes it to the point that if you're going to use your truck as a truck, if you want your tailgate up and you're going to have your doors off to haul stuff, any wood or anything you have hanging out is also going to end up destroying this seal. So that's something to keep in mind. Like I said, for me, not a concern. It's something I'll take care of if I ever think it's a concern. The fit and finish, it's one you hear a lot about online. We're hanging out under the carport right now. I live in the Southwest, so it's a little warm, summertime. So my truck's not my daily driver. It'll wreck these tires driving around on some hot roads. So normally the truck spends most of its time under a carport, unless we're going for some adventures. So we're going to enjoy the shade before we get out and we have to open it up and talk about other things. But the fit and finish is one that you read a lot about. Once again, for me, honestly, it's not much of a concern, but poor sealant, poor paint. I don't know if you can see the dry spots in the paint where it's versus. Like I said, for me, these weren't concerns. The sealant jobs do look. I mean, this is actually a lot better the second time they did it, but you can still see like where runs of sealant. I mean, they're not going to do the best job of cleaning up the sealant. I have another big run when you open it, but these are things that personally doesn't affect me. I'm fine with that. You can see my camper's pretty pinstriped. We get used. This isn't, a beauty rig. This is, we're out enjoying life. One of them that did always bother me, that's never been addressed, I've brought it up a few times. So from day one, this camper never fit my truck correctly. So if we look at the gap, they actually had to add this at install. This wasn't originally part of the camper design, but the camper doesn't sit on that corner, so we're really tight over here. We got about a 2-finger gap. This, I believe, is how it's supposed to sit on my truck bed to meet this back rail. But the camper walls are actually different lengths, and it makes the camper sit crooked. So when we come over to the driver's side, we end up with a much larger gap. And there's a gap between the bed rail here. There's just a slight gap, so they had to put this on here in order to seal this thing up to my bed. And then it just sits crooked. We have a much larger gap over here than we do on that side. This was one of them that, I was willing to live with. They hooked me up with some free molly panels to make it right. It did add some time to install. They had to throw this on there. I really didn't like it, but was I gonna drive all the way back to California twice when this can fix things? I guess not. But that's kind of, the start of Oru. This is how we band-aid things. This is, oh, we have an issue? Well, this might work. And it kind of seems to be the trend. So now we're going to move on to the tent. So this is not my original tent section. I had my camper for, I don't know, maybe 4 months, somewhere in there. I'm not exactly sure of the timeline. Don't quote me on that one. And I had the similar issue that a lot of people had. When you open it up, we have hard walls, and the center hinge on the hard wall split in half. Both sides hinges split in half. I had almost the entire wall dangling at one point. They did send me some RV roof tape. That was their temporary fix to keep your walls in one piece until they could get you in for some warranty work. Okay, so we taped it up. We went through the process. The warranty process is not pleasant. I'm sure Oru is aware. In case you don't know of what you were doing, I had back and forth for months of pretty much every week. Oh, I'll get information to you. I'll get information to you. There was no communication. I had to reach out every other week pretty much of, hey, haven't heard anything. What's going on? So finally, after weeks and weeks, probably a couple months of that, we got this scheduled for a tent replacement. I think I was rescheduled twice, so that's always fun. You know, you're taking time off work, scheduling life around getting this done, and they're like, oh, you know, shipping fell through, this, that, and the other. All right, you know, I do get it, but it's frustrating. It's not a process that I want to go through again. Not to mention, when you do warranty work, I have to strip everything off the camper. I have an awning up here. This is going to have to come off. Fuel tanks, that's got to come off. Whole interior, all the electrical. I've done, a little bit of work down here. Just a little bit. We got DC to DC charging. We've got solar charging. We've got switch panels. We got 12 volt, 24 volt converters for lighting. Let's see, we got some LED lighting up top. I haven't done any up top. The switches and the wiring are here for it, but I'm trying not to put too many holes in this because, well, I wanted to see how it was going to last. We got the bed platform hinge. That's all going to have to come apart. Positive pressure cabin air filtration. So this has dual purpose here. We got the cone filter up here with the sock on it. This is used, I live in the desert, so we suck air in through a fan, through another filter box, and dump air into the camper. This keeps dust out of the camper. In the winter, this comes off, and we pull the cap off. There's a T. Pull the cap off the T, and we can plumb our heat in through the Chinese diesel heater that works better than my American-made camper. Chinese diesel heater goes here. We got the Webasto fuel tank to feed the not Webasto heater, and then we plumb heat in. When it's not cold out, I dump air in. Cabin air filtration. That keeps everything clean in here. It keeps all the dust from wanting to come in through all my seals. Works quite well. A little bit of insulation, that's going to have to come out. Obviously cabinetry, all the wiring. We got wire chases going on. We got power wire in the back coming from the alternator for the DC to DC. Got camera for my dash camera / rear view mirror. Wolf box. Anyone out there looking for a good option for seeing around this, check out Wolf box. They clamp over your rear view mirror. You put a camera in the back. You also have a forward facing camera, so you have a full dash cam and you get your rear view mirror back. Great product. Just plug them in there a little bit. Not sponsored, but great product. I actually have had to warranty my Wolf box once. They were fantastic. I had it within a week, no questions asked. Alright. I think that covers most of my... Oh, I lied. So, this door's never fit correctly. You actually sent me a new seal once. I asked, we didn't accommodate, I asked to send it not cut, so that I could move this corner up and tighter with the cut, but I just got another seal already cut, so I didn't really have much choice other than just to slap it on and it fit how it fit. And we still catch on the doors. Ripping up my seals. This side works fine. We have just enough clearance to not catch seals. So, eventually I will probably just buy my own bulb seal that is not cut, so that I can fit it, and we can probably get that tight enough to not catch, or do some door adjustments. But go back to the email. That was my one request. Don't cut the seal. What do we do? Yeah. So this is why I have issues with Oru. It's the communication. It's, you know, we're going to do something, but in all reality, you get what you get. I don't know if I trust you guys anymore. You can tell me that you're going to make a good camper, but this is my second one. And now we're going to go open this up, and we're going to show you the issues with why this is going to need to be replaced. All right. See you in a minute. Alright, we're moved out where we can open this thing up, and let's start before we even open it. One of my first complaints. So, get back to, so I had my tent replaced, what, 4 or 5 months ago probably? I don't think we even quite hit the 6 months mark yet with this one. So it was replaced under warranty due to the hinges splitting. And this is more of a review of the issues I've had with my new tent. So in all honesty, I think the build quality went down a lot when we went to the new tent. The only thing that improved is the hinges haven't split in half. But we're going to go over everything that definitely did not improve with the new tent. So finish, still didn't improve much. We still got like paint defects. Once again, not an issue for me. Other people, that's more of an issue. I don't care. Things I do care about. So we take our latches. We go to try to close our latches. We line our latch up with our latch striker. We keep our latch lined up with our latch striker, and our latch does not latch. That is beyond frustrating when you're trying to line these things up to close them, and you got to sit here and tweak it and offset your latch, because we can't line a latch body up with a latch striker. So I have to offset that latch body that much from the striker in order to get it latched. That's on all 4 latches. Yeah, that one's super frustrating. Why can't we line these up? I don't know. This is a pretty simple thing. I've put plenty of these on. Same thing, if we line our latch up straight, it'll close, and we have to be offset from the body by quite a bit. If I'm standing down here and I'm just trying to make life easy, you go, see from there. You know, you just want to go 2-hand, hold your latch in place and close it, because you don't want to have to climb all the way up here and look to make sure that your hole's gonna hit your hole. That's not pleasant. Y'all need to understand some of these things. I really feel like you're just trying to, oh, we'll fix this one problem, but we're still gonna build this, well, I'm gonna use nice words, not in a very quality way. So, let's start opening this bad boy up so we can have some conversations here. None of our corners line up. You can see just by how the seals sit. We protrude out here, that's why that seal pops out. We protrude out here, that's why this seal's popping out. None of our edges are actually lined up. This whole wall, if you look down it, where's the lens? You might be able to see how wavy this top section is. It doesn't meet the bottom section correctly. They tell me all day long that won't cause leaks. I live in the Southwest. I haven't drove through many rainstorms. But you're not going to tell me that that's not going to cause water intrusion when your seals don't meet correctly. You can tell me all day long, but you know, you can fool the spectators, you can't fool the players. I'm a mechanic. I work in an aviation industry. I deal with stuff like this on a daily basis. Like, you can tell me all day long that it's not an issue, that this will be fine, but I don't believe you. We'll let the rest of the internet decide what they think. So we go up. We get more of the not great sealant. I just haven't taken the time to clean that. Once again, I don't really care. Sealant jobs aren't, you know, looks aren't my number one concern. Form, fit, function. There's our real problem. Once again, if you look down this line, you can see how not straight anything is, so we don't meet our sealing surfaces correctly. But particularly, let's see if I can get a screen on here so I can see my finger. Down in this corner, this seal, this corner, you can see it's starting to pull already too. But the hinge is coming undone from the wall. We'll get down to there, because that's the issue that has me alright. This camper is no longer a viable option, because that's going to become a major structural problem. But we'll start with some of the littler stuff. So, within the same week I took delivery, we found that we can't hit center. So, like, you know, this rivet's in the center. Oh, what's this thing doing way up here? Same with this one, way up here, to the point that the edge of the rivet head was actually hanging up and chewing into our seal here, or into our, this is probably just pretty edging, but why is that way up there? And we built a American made quality product. We got rivets along these edges, same thing. These rivets are rubbing into the edges our corners. We didn't sand that. There's a weld right here. I don't know how well you can see that, but that weld bead's still sitting really tall, so it pushed the entire roof line up. So I probably don't even need feeler gauges. Where the key at? Here, I got a piece of safety wire I was using. It'll demonstrate very clearly. Like there's massive gaps because we didn't feel like sanding this to be a flat surface to meet. So now all of our contact pressure right here is up sitting on this weld instead of down on the flange, and we end up with gaps. American made, high quality. So let's climb up on the bed here, and we deal with a lot of the same things. We couldn't get this seated. There's gaps. You can actually see the rivets up there. Huge gaps all the way down. This probably isn't so much a problem. This is just poor build quality. I know a lot of people have issues with these tent material. My only issue is the new tent. You can see this one, it's getting pinched here. We're starting to tear it. This one, it's getting pinched here. We're starting to tear it. These up here, it's getting pinched here. We're starting to tear it. But you know, these over here is getting pinched here. And we're starting to tear it. Less than 6 months old. And it's putting a matching hole in the bug net. And on to the problem at hand. So, originally, warranty issues were for this hinge splitting down the middle. This hinge would just break right down the middle. That hasn't happened again. This time, what I'm dealing with, hopefully you can see up here, the hinge has separated from the wall. Down, I think it's about 14, 15 inches right now, that the hinge is no longer bonded to the wall. Eventually, this will make it so that this wall will be flapping freely. Oru currently guarantees me that this is not going to cause any water intrusion problems. I might believe him. I'm not too worried about that, but the structural fact of this wall is going to come apart. Like, the wall and the hinge need to be one piece. It's kind of critical. Oh, we'll head up here. And we'll see back at this front where this hinge is having issues. If you look here, you can see the gap between the trim piece and then you can see the hinge up there. Nice, even gap. You should be able to see the hinge. And then as we come down here, this whole wall has slid up to the point that it's up over that hinge. This whole wall is under load. It's gonna pull itself away from that hinge. And then as we come down here, this is on the bottom side of that same affected wall. You can see that we're separating here as well. Whatever sealant we used to bond this, it's letting go. It's the only affected spots I see right now. But it's to the point that I don't want to deal with these anymore. These walls are not solid. I mean, they're solid, but they're not solidly built. This is the second time I've had issues with the same problem. The wall, it's coming apart. All right. Well, I don't know how much I missed of that. But the separation, and then we have separation going down here as well. Alright, it's starting to get warm up in here, so we're going to go put this thing back in the shade. Yeah, That's got to come off from my tablet. Strip everything back down.